Funny? Funny? Not funny. Not funny. Funny? Not funny.
So I have a new album coming out called Assemble Yourself. I know I've been probably talking about it constantly here, but it comes out, it drops. So how we say in the music biz on October 24th, which is probably long before we actually get to post this. But I've been so far behind in my editing. I can catch up now, but yeah, I mean, life has thrown me for a loop, and I'm starting to catch up. I posted Tom Burris today.
Yep.
And so that'll give you some idea of how far I posted season 6, episode 4 today. And I think we're on season 6, episode 7 or 8. So there's like a month long lag. Let me just check how far it is.
Should we do our Christmas special next week?
We should do. Exactly. Yeah. So I think we've got season right. So that, I haven't posted Phil Broikos yet. I haven't posted our conversations about Buddhism, etc.
I'm sure everybody's just waiting for that one.
Oh yeah. That's a treat.
By the way, since you pulled Chatty Cathy's string, I've really given a lot of thought.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's good to read a really, really big book. Right. And you got to digest it for a while. And I've come to the conclusion that it's a really crappy book. Like I get more and more angry with it. The more I liken it to, it's a book about Catholicism where like 20 pages are spent on why do bishops have hats that look like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's 20 pages on the Shroud of Turin controversy. It's like, yeah, but what did Buddhism do for people's lives in these civilizations? What philosophical tradition? What did it mean to the history of these countries and these peoples? Did it alter the course of history? And what was the day-to-day life of the people who practice it or the people who believe? None of that's there.
No.
And one thing that came to me is his whole and there's almost like these like Rain Man like discussions about certain topics like the Cakravartin, the wheel turning Lord, and he's like, and he keeps talking about Cakravartin. It's like the wheel turning Lord. It's the wheel turning Lord. It's the wheel. Actually, it's not a wheel. It's a horse. It was the king let his horse run around for a day. Wherever the horse ran, the king owned the land. But then they chose to a wheel, so it's the wheel. I'm like, I don't care. What does this have to do with Buddhism? Seriously, dude.
Well, I think there might be a better book on.
There can't be a worse one
on what Buddhism actually is. I don't know. I'll look. The thing is, we're full of this history now. A little bit of what it actually is might help. Maybe not right away. Maybe not for a couple of months.
Well, there's an intermediate space. I mean, So again, I iterate what I said last time, which is that this book reads like somebody who has read every book about Buddhism, but has never actually talked to a Buddhist or practiced any of the things or has, interacted with anything like that. It's like somebody who decides to make a movie after reading every book about making movies, but has never actually seen a movie. That's what this book is like. So on one end,
that way, yeah,
there's books about about history. Mainly about the history of the propagation and the history of the texts being transmitted and of the leaders, Prince Ashoka or whoever it was, and stuff like that. And then at the other end is what does it mean? Which is a hairy kind of conversation too. It's like, what does Catholicism mean? I'm not looking for that conversation. Really, I think that's a deeply spiritual. I think it's a deep, but somewhere in the middle, it's like, how did this change people's lives? how did Buddhism actually affect the societies in which it thrives? Something just beeped really loudly. I'm
Your
sorry.
phone?
Okay. I don't know, but something just made a big noise. But I'm on a roll here.
Yeah.
But no, but it's a really good idea, which is that you can talk about. You don't have to talk about what does the Trinity really mean to people. You don't. You just have to say, look, there's this thing called the Trinity, and there's one vision of the Trinity over here, and there's another version of the Trinity over here, and this led to different attitudes about personal freedom and
Yeah.
different attitudes about your loyalty to the state. Blah 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 blah. And I'm really sounding like that guy on that MIT show that you played on. That was spooky.
Oh,
That
yeah.
other guy on that MIT show, not only did he
Dave
sound,
Goodman, or was it Mark Stern? Mark Stern, maybe.
the guy who was spending the home recuperating from,
Mark Stern.
He sounded just like I sound just like him, and it's really annoying. But anyway, as I was saying, so I just think the good thing about it is I don't think I learned a lot about Buddhism. I think I learned a lot about how to write a really bad book about a worldwide spiritual movement.
I find it so. His justification, I think, at the beginning, I went back and listened to the introduction again, and because I listened to the audiobook, but he justifies it by saying that Buddhism it does not follow a linear timeline, so therefore his book won't follow a linear timeline. But like, can you write a book for us though? Like,
right.
Do you mind actually writing something so that we can understand it?
Yeah, who are you writing this book for?
Yeah. Or is it just to prove that you have this deep knowledge of all the particulars of the history of Buddhism in all of these different...
I don't want to be that unkind.
It doesn't, it isn't very audience, it isn't
not very
like
helpful.
Reader helpful. Yeah, it's not reader.
Yeah, it's like what I mean, I'm not getting
Ton
this.
of
Anyway,
information, though.
enough about that.
Yeah.
I've plowed that field, so I'm done with that one. So we did the Buddhism thing.
So my album is finished and it's dropping October 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not too long from now, but that's 9 days. And it's dropping on Bandcamp first, and I'm finishing up the artwork so I can have, some CDs made and let them sit here on the shelf behind me forever. And
I'll buy one.
Why am I making CD? I know there's going to be 4 people who want one. Although I hear people like CDs because there is sort of a movement to like keep your music and not be beholden to the, streaming gods. It doesn't hit streaming until December or January. So I'm doing like the theater release, right? And then it goes to streaming later, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because I recently, I have all my music uploaded. I forget to where. I think it's like YouTube Music, because all my stuff's uploaded to Google anyway. I took my entire CD. I ripped all my CDs, turned them into MP3s. God, why did I do that? That was just...
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, and 800 hours later, and I uploaded it, and I recently actually tried to play an album of my own off of YouTube Music, and I couldn't get it to work.
And can you download it again?
All the files are still there. I still have the files, but the problem is, it's just every time you do something, they're like, "Oh, do you want us to stream that? Upgrade to premium. You can stream this." I'm like, I don't want to stream it. It's already up there. It's mine. I just want to play that of which is mine, which is already up there. I just want to play it. Yeah, but okay, click your library. Okay, here's the individual songs. No, I want to play the whole album. You can upgrade to premium, and we'll stream it. Like, ooh. And so and I was seriously thinking about buying another CD player, because you really just want that thing where you don't want a ribbon of anonymous music. You want to listen to a particular album.
Yep.
And you want to feel like something's spinning in there.
I think that's the value of Bandcamp. You can buy the WAV files. You can download. They take up a lot of room on your hard drive, but hard drives are much bigger now. And just fill it with WAV files. That's as good as it gets on a CD, which is already not good.
Yeah.
But Actually, this album we recorded in 44.1, 24-bit probably, but 44.1. You don't really know. There's no real difference when I listen to it from when, but usually there was and also my ears are shot, so I don't hear.
We don't hear it.
all
So who
this stuff.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what everybody else hears?
But early on, when I was in the studio and I was listening to 9624. So what does that mean? 96K, 96,000 bits per second, and 24
24 bits resolution.
bits resolution, right? So that's if you can compare it to like your color palette. The sound has so much more subtlety and quality and range of volume at 9624, but then it gets mashed down into CD format, which is 4416.
Right.
Yeah.
Or MP3, or gets streamed as an MP3, which is 128,
right? Which is
128 kilobits per second.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of hoodoo guru being done in the back by the MP3 algorithm. There's all kinds of stuff that's
the streaming algorithm, right? Because they're not going to want to pay for the bandwidth to send you a WAV file. They're going to, or even an MP3 probably. They're going to be cutting corners wherever they can.
But the real corner cutting, just to completely, because we have to fill up an hour, is the MP3 algorithm is fascinating. How it achieves how it achieves 10-to-1 compression is mainly due to psychoacoustics. It's not like it's using very clever compression or very clever mathematics. It's not. It's deleting stuff. Yeah. It's actually throwing large chunks of the audio spectrum out the window. So, for example, if there's two instruments that are playing very similar pitches, you can throw one of the instruments away and nobody will really notice. I'm serious. It's really amazing.
Was it Jaron Lanier who did that, who created MP3s?
MP3 was created by the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany. MP3 stands for the MPEG-2 Layer 3 protocol, because MPEG-2 was the digital video.
MPEG.
MPEG-2 was invented, and MP3 is the audio layer for MPEG-2, because MPEG-2 has a video component and an audio component. So MP3 is version 3 of the MPEG-2 audio layer, and it was written by the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany, which every now and then, you'll see they're collecting their dues from everybody. People still pay a lot of money to the front because they own MP3.
The whole format.
Right. They don't own Ogg Vorbis and they don't own blah, 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 but they own, but they own MP3. And it is mainly based upon psychoacoustic principles. It's not like they figured out some weird way of using super large prime numbers to condense. It's not being done at a digital level. It's actually being done at like a conceptual analog level. Like, nobody can hear this, so we're going to throw it out the window. And nobody ever really detects this. The brain can't detect this, so we're going to throw it out. So they do all kinds of weird things with stereo resolution, how to mimic it, how to mimic stereo resolution. It's really it's really incredibly clever. It's really disconcerting when you read about it. It's like, they're like, okay, we're going to remove your spleen and your liver, and you don't need those. You'll notice, and your life will be just fine.
You'll make it down the street. I can't promise you after that.
Like the Onion, man gets first ever mouse heart transplant. Quote, take it real easy, doctors. Like, don't sit up. So back to your album.
I've been listening a lot to my album. Assemble Yourself drops 10/24, which has already happened. But it's on Bandcamp, and you can get it there. I'm having a listening party on 10/21, which you're going to miss because you don't know that. So I'm having a listening party on Bandcamp. First time I've done that. And I don't know if anybody will be there.
It's only 10:15.
Oh, because I'm going to post this probably in December.
Right, but I'll still be there. 10:21.
You'll be there. No, I'm talking to the listener.
If they're talking to me,
has missed out. Yeah. Unless I just post by the way, our podcast is an MP3. Not that I think it matters that much. Although I should really keep that in mind when I put a ton of work into getting the audio just right. It's just going to get killed in the end. But yeah, I'm having a listening party, and so it'll be digital, and I
What
think
will be digital?
it'll be a digital release. So I don't
Okay.
have any physical product yet. It's going to take a while to manufacture that, and then streaming will come later. But yeah, you will be able to just play it on Bandcamp. Usually, I think you get to play it 3 times before you buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 tracks, all written in 2025, except the last track, which was written in December 2024. I should have just lied and said that it was all written in 2025. What's that?
What's the last track?
Last track is How You Dune.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And which is going to be played. There's going to be a preview on a radio station that's going to play it. Gordon, I forget where he plays it. It might be community radio in Queens, New York, or it might be WFUV.
With the whole album?
No, just How You Dune.
Why is it a science fiction show or something?
It's Filk, right? He likes Filk.
What's Filk?
Filk is science fiction folk songs. I told you the story about Filk, right? How it came to be. Filk. It was a science fiction convention, and there was a poster that came out for folk music, but they, O and I are really close on the keyboard, and it was Filk music. And at all the other science fiction that just stuck like across the board. So it's a genre now, Filk. So
science fiction folk music.
Yeah.
Are there other noted practitioners that you can name?
What's his name? Who did? Well, it's a parody of Copacabana called Star Wars Cantina, and it's by. It's a clever name, and I can't remember. Come on, who's the artist? Nobody cares.
2 minutes later.
Yes. If I click on this, it's going to start playing. Oh no! So it's still it's just showing the song from the movie Star Wars. Yeah,
it must be called something else.
Up. You can, if you Google for about an hour, you'll find it.
You'll find it. Good luck. Okay.
It's a funny name. The guy's got a very funny name. But yeah, that would be folk music, although it isn't really folk. I know there've been other sci-fi related folk songs.
Is it a genre you're going to pursue?
I don't think so. I don't.
Your heart's not in it?
All right. Is there a song that I could write about Foundation?
No.
Which
one? The book or the show?
It would have to be the book, but then I'd have to read the book. I've only just really enjoyed the.
Why can't you write a show about the? I mean, so what? So the Star. This is a really hideous conversation. So the Star Wars Cantina song was amusing because it was a parody of Copacabana by who was it who did that?
Barry Manilow
or something like that. Yeah. So that's the only thing that made it funny, or was, I mean, what are do you have a sense of what makes for, what were you trying to get across in Dune? What were you trying to get across in How You Dune?
How You Dune?
Yeah.
Just how exhaustively ridiculous the history is. Plus, I mean, people are just, they're like, I don't know, I can't really get into Dune. And I'm like, yeah, of course you can't. Of course you can't. It's insane. You have to know that there's Buddhism and the Orange Catholic Bible. There's all these great religious mashups, and there's the Butlerian Jihad. What is that? Of course, it's actually a very useful term right now. Thou shalt not make a machine in the form of a human mind.
Right.
But then you have to know kind of who Serena Butler was, and it's something I didn't know when I was researching it, is that the House Carino that became the ruling family of all of the galaxy was descended from Serena Butler, who was like the Jesus figure in Dune, because she helped to defeat the Cymex and the AIs.
But I mean, you could probably say the same thing about the Lord of the Rings. You could probably
there's great lore, right? So this is like a quick recap of the lore. Now, the problem that I'm going to run into is there's 2 different versions of lore in Dune.
No, the real problem you're going to run into is you're going to get a call from the Herbert Foundation.
Maybe.
Did you read you read Red Shirts? You know,
Yeah, I did.
Scalzi's books.
Yeah.
And there's a great thing near the end where the TV guys are talking and said, yeah, that's the episode where we had the sandworms. Man, we had a lot of trouble with the Herbert Foundation on that one. It took a lot of money to get them off our backs.
Maybe I will run into trouble. There is another song about Dune out there, so I'll try and contact that guy. So Gordon's going to play that song and my song, and then the Herbert Foundation will call me and say cease and desist.
Knock it off, pal.
Yep, and it'll be a 12-song album.
And
it will all have been written in 2025.
Yeah.
So, win-win, I say.
It's your gimme song. It's the one that you're willing to sacrifice for the sake of artistic success.
The album holds together fine without it.
Yeah,
it holds together fine without it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing that it's the thing you stick in the negotiating package that you know the other side's going to hate and that you don't really care about. So when they say we want to get rid of clause 13, you're like, fine.
Yeah, it's
go
gone.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I get in return?
And then the people who actually downloaded the WAV file will be like, I've got a copy.
Yeah, it's like Billy Beer. They're going to have some outlawed artifact. Weren't we supposed to watch a movie or something like that? I don't think that ever happened.
We didn't even get to naming the movies yet. Right. So I think we should watch 2 movies instead of 3 by each director. So mine is Wim Wenders and one of them is Perfect Days. And I found another one, but I really just picked the highest rated one at random that's more recent and I haven't seen before.
Okay, Perfect Days.
Well, I have to find the name of the other one.
Okay.
But it's and I still want to talk about my music because I always do.
Okay.
You know what's great about Wim Wenders is he's really easy to Google. You just have to type WIM and nobody else is named Wim. Yeah, I thought we'd watch Die Sluicer der Freiheit. No. He was a director in that.
The what?
Freiheit.
Freedom.
Die Schlüssel zur Freiheit.
Well, we just lost our guy in Germany.
No, my German.
He just rage quit.
He's like, oh podcast. God, dude, that's just not right. That one might actually be good. It's in German and it's a documentary by Wim Wenders.
What's it about? It's about freedom. I know Freiheit. I don't know Schlüssel.
It doesn't seem to. A key World War II event is observed by Wenders 80 years later. As many wars and conflicts around the world are taking place, director Wim Wenders made a small trip to a school in France where an important event, 1945, sealed the end of World War II. Sounds actually kind of interesting.
Okay, well let's watch it. Perfect Days in Freiheit. Got it.
Yeah. And can I even get it? Where would I get it? Not streaming anywhere. Yeah, it's literally not.
It's unobtainium.
Yeah. So if we can't get that, then my thought was Perfect Days and Anselm. Anselm Kiefer is one of the greatest contemporary artists past and present, diffuse the line between film and painting, thus giving a unique cinematic experience that dives deep into the artist's work and reveals his life path. So mine, and it's on Prime, and I think Perfect Days is on Prime. I believe it's on Prime. Great. No, you can rent or buy it. It's streaming on Hulu.
That's fine. I'll just buy it or rent it.
Yeah, so those are my 2, and I think they're going to be real snoozers, but maybe beautiful.
You never know.
Yeah.
Don't know until you walk out the door. Just check it out. Okay, what about you want to talk about your music again?
Yeah, this album is entirely me and the acoustic guitar. That's it. And I did something a little strange, which is I created a kind of stereo field based on where the guitar is in relation to my voice when I'm playing. I set the guitar slightly to the left, and I set my voice slightly to the right. And that changes a little bit depending on the song. So I'm using the stereo field to separate the 2 instruments. Mm-hmm. I didn't do the original, like, wide stereo. Have you ever heard like a Beatles album that was done in wide stereo, where basically John and Ringo are in the left speaker and George and Paul are in the right speaker? Like
You don't want
100%.
you don't want you don't want me to answer that
Have you heard that?
question. Yes, I'm very well aware of it, and what I've heard, what I read at one point, which is probably completely apocryphal, is that that was a mistake.
Oh yeah. It
That
sounds like a mistake.
that when they shipped the masters over to America to make
Mhm.
records over here, they did that as a 2-track, and they put some stuff in the left track and they put in the right track with the expectation it was going to be mixed back together again. When it got here and nobody did anything, they hit play in the record plan. But I don't believe that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
No, there were other albums that were using the stereo field in that radical way.
there's plenty of music where people shove things fully to the left and fully to the right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that. This is slightly off axis.
But I did actually, when I was listening to that the show you did on MIT, I was like, wow, like there's a heavy stereo field going on here, but it didn't sound like the voices in one place and it sounded like you were putting a stereoizer on the acoustic guitar.
The acoustic guitar is split and set apart slightly out of phase 10 milliseconds.
Oh, that's a big deal.
It does help the sound of the acoustic guitar. It makes it
it makes it much wider.
Really big.
Yeah, gigantic.
But then certain songs I wanted the guitar to be really small. So there's a lot of variety, but it's subtle variety. It's a very subtle album. It's really just about the songs. And I'm just delivering them in a very straightforward manner for the most part. No, I am not even for the most part. I'm just delivering them in a very straightforward manner.
Did you edit them? Did you do different takes and splice them together?
Yeah, there was some like better vocal takes, and we did work on them for sure.
Right, but you did the thing where you took like this section from take number 1 and spliced it onto this section from take number 2.
Yeah, and
interesting.
I mean, part of that is because I did the guitar and the vocal separately, and I'm so used to doing them together that some vocal takes did not feel like I was playing and singing at the same time, or I basically wasn't in tune or something. So yeah, we cut back and forth between a couple of them. Some of them are just all the same take all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did notice that, if I had a really good stereo mic, like Dan Cantor has a fantastic stereo mic, I would have preferred to just play guitar and vocal and then just do it over and over and over until I had the right take. But you can't do anything, if you do that, it's just a document of the performance. And this is a little more careful than that. And it does allow me, because I also did everything to a click track, it does allow me to send these tracks off to be remixed. Which if you or Kurt or Jeff or Phil want to do anything with them, then I would release another like collection of remixes.
Okay. Well, send it along.
And you'd be like a co-write on the music.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's coming out. It's a very kind of purist, folk album. I guess indie folk would be the best way to describe it. And but what's interesting is I was like, well, I should listen to Utopia Revisited to kind of get kind of see where it sits in my collection. And I think it does. Wheel ends, and then if you go from Wheel into this album, it does make sense. It does sound like the same artist. But I was just really amazed a couple of years later, 2 years later, listening to Utopia Revisited, of just how remarkable that album is. It's not a lot of, I just have to credit Kurt for the way he treated the whole session and his contributions to this. Just incredible. So if you haven't listened to it in a while, give it another gander.
Okay. I will.
And I'm done talking about my music, my art.
Well, you spurred, because, I was talking about the editing. It sort of spurred in me thoughts about Glenn Gould. I think we've talked about Glenn Gould.
Not for a while.
I think, and I probably said the same thing I said back then, which is that if you haven't seen 26 short films about Glenn Gould,
Yeah.
Really good to watch. It's really, I didn't know what I was going to expect. And of course, the joke is 26 short films, or 27, I forget the exact name, but it's the number of the Goldberg Variations, which is far and away the most famous album he made, was the 1955 recording of the Goldberg Variations. And there's 26 or 27 Goldberg Variations. But it's very much just a documentary about it's not a document. It's really not a documentary. It's a reenactment. It's the story of his life. It's his biography in 28 short snippets, and they're really amazing. They're really good, fascinating stuff. And one of the things about he's a very, very, very not strange, but strange person. He really is. Ferocious piano player. Soon abandoned giving public concerts. Because he just didn't like doing it, and he felt it wasn't a good thing. Became obsessed with the studio, and like drove engineers absolutely insane, because he would obsessively edit he would take many different takes and say, I want these 3 notes from this take, and spliced. And guys
in
are
the age of tape.
Yeah, I don't have a razor blade that fine. We have no tape left. We've sliced this thing so many times, and
it just flies apart when you then you spin it at 30 inches per second.
Yeah.
Right?
So he drove people insane, and he would obsessively re-edit the stuff, and then he would sing along with himself, which was almost, and people went to great lengths to try to get that out of the recordings, but you couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
And one of the great scenes, kind of a spoiler, but my favorite scene is one scene called Rehearsal. And it's like an hour before he's supposed to go on stage somewhere.
Okay.
And he has to rehearse the piece that he's going to do. And it's 5 minutes of him walking around the piano, just waving his hands at himself and talking. And he just walks around the piano, and he talks, and he moves his hands, and he does all these gestures. And then he's like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Wow.
He never sits down at the piano. He just walks. He just thinks in his head. Now, I don't know. Maybe he was just insane. But but
his art. That's the thing, though. Whatever your process is, that's your process.
If you want to weep profusely, you can.
I remember I was on the road for a while, and Autumn Pincus, we were really happy to have her as a tour manager. She's a marvelous tour manager. She went on to manage a number of other bands on the road. And I remember there was a gig, and I was catatonic in the green room, to the point so close to the show, it was 3 minutes to go. And Autumn's like, Jim, are you gonna be all right? Jim, are you gonna be okay? We're like, no, I just have to lie. I have to lie here. And she the band is freaking out, and we got, not going to be able to play. And then it was, whatever, it was 11 o'clock, and I leapt off the sofa and I went out and did a kick-ass show.
Sure.
That's about as eccentric as I get. But yeah, it's sometimes it's actually the best thing to do for me, because if you're out socializing, or if you're even socializing in the green room with a band, you're giving away energy that you could be giving away on stage.
Yeah. The Gould came to prominence in 1955 with his 1955 recording of the Goldberg Variations, which sort of shattered how people have been interpreting Bach up to that point. Up to that point, people were playing Bach very much in sort of, this is the standard story I've heard. People were playing Bach in sort of a romantic way, very legato, very, luscious, very heartfelt. And he was just like Johnny Rotten. He came out and he played it 285 BPM and played it like a machine gun. He had a specially modified piano that had incredibly light action on the keys. It was the piano he took with him everywhere. And it was it was like tripwire piano. And it's a great recording. It's everywhere. So if you ever get a chance, listen to it.
Yeah, cool.
And then he re-recorded it in 1981 at the end of his career.
Hmm.
And if you can listen to those two one after another and you're not crying at the end, I can't say anymore. It's just such an amazing experience to listen to those two and how you can hear the 30 years between.
Yeah.
In every note he's playing. It's really fascinating. Anyway, we digress. So yeah, splicing and editing. So what's the next album? What are you doing?
What's my next project after this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to write some new songs. I mean, I actually have a few songs from the 31 that I wrote. I wrote 32, but one of them is really a disaster. A few of them are a disaster. My friends on Patreon suggested a theme which was like giant flying eels, I think it was. And I kind of wrote something off the top of my head about
these are your friends.
And a kid and a father flying a kite with giant flying eels. Anyway, whatever came out. I don't know if it really counts as a song, so I say 31. But there's one called Mercies of the Wicked, which is pretty good. It's also one called It Was Blue that I like. There's one called How Am I that is
Mercies of the Wicked is not on.
No, I didn't do a recording of. It's on the playlist at the Jim Spagigo YouTube channel.
But it wasn't on Assemble Yourself.
There. I didn't put it on Assemble Yourself.
Okay.
No. Instead, I put How You Doing. Yeah. Well, it was a choice.
Aren't they all?
There's a lot of heavy songs on the record, so I just thought just a little something lighter.
Got to lighten it up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. The Carinos and the Harkonnens.
Stop.
And the Tradies.
Stop. I am so over that.
Bandworms.
It's so ridiculous. You feel embarrassed even thinking that you know what half this stuff means. So I've stumbled on something. This is scraping the bottom of the barrel, which is our core competency here. I stumbled upon the YouTube algorithm coughed something up and hurled it at me, which I really find wonderful. Which is this BBC half-hour series of programs from, it looks like the late 1980s. Now, it could all be AI, but it's got to be a really deranged AI that would make these, called The Secret Life of Machines by Tim Hunkin, Hunkin. And it's a really indescribable show. It's basically him and his sidekick, who's equally bizarre, explaining how like washing machines work, explaining how vacuum cleaners work, explaining how light bulbs work. And that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of it, because he is really unique. I mean, I hate to say that. There's no such thing as really unique. He's unique.
That's right.
Yeah, there's no such thing as really unique.
He's extremely unique.
Yeah, every time I hear that.
So unique that there isn't, it's not like that there isn't even another one of him. There's not another zero of him. It was a real thing. It's not AI.
It's a real thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
really comforting. It's a perfect thing because it's a half hour, and it's all analog. You know, there's
he did one in 2023 and 2022 and 2021.
Well, he probably did a redux.
The Secret Life of Components. Yeah.
Yeah, he's reissued, and what he does is he's reissued all the ones. I forget what the original air dates on a lot of these were. I think it feels like 89, maybe 90, 91 was the original series. Because I don't think, it's 8 because he's not even doing CDs. And so, but he reissued them all during the COVID era, and gave little he gave a little thing at the end after the end credits where he does an update where he talks about, what it was like making these things and stuff like that. Nice. And it's really, he does some things that are like, he and his buddy do things in the laboratory that blow my mind, like that they were allowed to do that in any way whatsoever on camera. There's one point where they're like playing with gunpowder and they're like holding this thing up in front of both their faces, and they're hoping, and then they got like 2 car batteries right next to it.
Oh, that's funny.
And then there's one where they build this huge bonfire of televisions and set them on fire in their backyard. And I'm like, dude, is that even permitted?
That sounds illegal.
I tell you, this guy, but he's quite something because he makes things. He makes these giant clocks, and he makes these, and I think he also does all the cartoons for the series. I mean, it's really, and he has this incredibly singular way of talking. And you can tell he is not a trained actor. It's really, I please just watch one episode for me and tell me if you don't find it just really intriguing what this guy is doing. Like what they're actually talking about is pretty silly. But the great thing is that they said, oh, this is how we're going to show you how a photocopier works with like some sellotape and a can of baking soda. And it's like, yeah, right. And they do. They do all these things. They're like, I have no idea how you guys managed to pull that off. It's pretty funny.
So did you watch it on YouTube? Because it's not showing any. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like The Secret Life of the Fax Machine, The Secret Life of the Electric Light, The Secret Life.
I have to write some things down. I mean,
yeah,
you've said 3 things that I need to watch.
Oh, well, the Gould thing is, I mean, that's kind of, if you don't dig classical music, it's really hard to listen to Bach's Goldberg variations. I think in the world of classical music, they're right up there. But if you're not into classical music, it's pretty austere. But they're great. The Goldberg variations are fabulous, and Glenn Gould's recordings. But you should definitely watch 26 short films about Glenn Gould. That's worth watching.
Yeah,
that's really, really interesting.
Well, yeah, that's the one I actually think I want to watch.
Yeah,
and there was The Secret Life of Machines is 26 short films, and there was another one that you mentioned, but I don't remember what it was. But I will be editing this, and I will find it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. We don't have to go on long. In fact, I left my car charging in the center of town, and I left my phone in the car. Have you ever done that? No. Only me.
I'm serious. My phone never leaves my body.
I wonder if my phone will be stolen. It's about time for it to be stolen, but if you steal a phone, it's actually kind of a problem, isn't it? It's not the value of the thing, although that's something. Having to replace it will cost money, but all the information on your phone is kind of problematic.
Yeah, but nobody's interested in the information on your phone. They're interested in the phone. Did you read that story in the New York Times?
No.
The Brits cracked down. The Brits cracked down because people kept complaining about cell phones getting stolen off the street. Like people would just like drive by on an electric bike and just snatch it right out of your hand, going past you at like 20 miles an hour. And they would just, and people kept complaining to the Metropolitan Police, and the Metropolitan Police said, we're not going to pay. There's nothing really we can do. And then people would call up and say, yeah, I can see where it is. It's pinging away right now. I can tell you exactly where my phone is. And they're like, no. And then something happened, and they went into a warehouse and found thousands and thousands of phones in there. And what was happening was it was a ring. And what they were doing is they were taking the phones, wrapping them in aluminum foil. And one of the ways they found one of the people was somebody went out and bought 1.5 miles of aluminum foil, which is kind of an unusual purchase every now and then.
That's a lot of chicken.
And they get shipped to China because the Chinese cell phone carriers don't participate in a global blacklist of stolen phones. So if your phone is stolen and you report it, there's a blacklist that's shared by most of the networks in the world. So you can't use that phone on any of those networks.
Nice.
But China doesn't subscribe to that. They have their own system. They don't subscribe. So you can use a stolen phone in China quite easily. And so they found out it was a well-organized operation with people boxing up phones and shipping them to China.
Wow.
So that's probably what's happened to your phone right now.
Yeah, it's being shipped to China. I mean, I could find out if it's on the move, if you have a moment.
Yeah, go ahead. Find my phone. It's still there.
Phone.
Your phone.
Probably fine. I mean,
find my phone.
I can't find my phone, actually.
That's it. That's our ticket out of here, Jim. That's the killer app that's going to bootstrap us out of poverty.
It's find my phone. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. All right, Lionel.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Funny Not Funny is produced by Jim Infantino at Slab Media in Boston. Jim Infantino and Lionel Casson are the co-hosts. Our website is funnynotfunny.net. The theme music is from the song Wheel from the album Utopia Revisited by Jim. The opinions presented by the co-hosts are ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by anyone. Our intended audience is literally nobody. If you're listening to this podcast, you should probably pause to reflect on other choices you've recently made. Please do not subscribe or leave a rating or review. It only encourages us to make more. Thanks for listening.